All right, let's talk about one of the most fundamental ideas in modern web development, React components and props. If you've ever looked at a really slick, complex website and wondered, how on earth do they build that so fast and keep everything consistent? Well, the answer is actually in these two simple, super powerful concepts we're about to break down. I want you to think about pretty much any big website you use daily. You see the same button style, right? The same navigation bar, the same kind of layout for a post or a profile. Now just imagine having to code every single one of those from scratch. Every single time. Ugh, it would be a total nightmare. It's so inefficient, and it's basically a recipe for creating bugs. There has to be a better way, right?
Well, you guessed it, there is. And that better way is called the component. This is the first half of our puzzle, and it's the core idea that makes building for the web today so incredibly powerful.
So, what even is a component? The definition is actually super simple, but it's got huge implications. It's a self-contained, reusable piece of your user interface. So that button, that search bar, that little photo card, each one can be packaged up into its own little bundle of code. Honestly, the best way to think about this is with Legos. Yeah, Lego bricks. When you're building a Lego castle, you don't invent a totally new kind of brick for every single part of the wall, do you? Of course not. You've got your standard, reliable pieces, and you just combine them in all sorts of cool ways to build whatever you want. In exactly the same way, developers build a few core components and just reuse them to build an entire website. Okay, so this brings up a really important question. If all of our button components are the exact same brick, how do we make one of them say submit and another one say cancel? Or how do we make one profile component show my picture and another one show yours? We need some way to customize these reusable bricks. And that is where the second half of our puzzle comes in. Props. You could say that if components are the reusable Lego bricks, then props are the instructions we give to each brick to make it special. Let's use another analogy here. Imagine you have a parent component. Maybe it's the whole user profile page. And it needs to display a profile picture, which is its own little child component. Well, the parent passes the specific information, like the link to the picture, down to the child, kind of like passing a gift. And in the world of React, we call that gift a prop. The child component receives that prop, and now it knows exactly what to do. So, to put it simply, props are just data. That's it. They're just pieces of information that flow in one direction. And this is important, from a parent down to a child. This lets us configure our reusable components however we want. So let's put it all together. We have our reusable Lego bricks, those are the components, and we have our custom instructions, those are the props. Now let's see how these two amazing ideas actually connect in the real world. Now, we're going to look at one single, simple line of code that shows this whole thing in action. And hey, don't worry if you're not a coder. This is incredibly elegant and easy to understand, I promise. Okay, check out this line of code. The first part, greeting./o, that's our component. Think of it as the reusable blueprint or Lego brick. Now look at the part inside, name equals Alice. That's the prop. That's our custom instruction. We're literally telling the specific greeting component, hey, the name you need to use for this one is Alice. And just like that, the greeting component, which is probably designed to say hello name, now knows to display hello Alice. If we wanted it to say hello Bob, we would just change that one little prop to name equals Bob. It's the same component, just a different result. That's the magic of it all. This brings us to what might be the most important takeaway here. Props are the communication channel between components. It's how a parent can tell a child what to do, what to show, how to behave. It's how developers are able to build these incredibly complex, interactive websites from tiny, simple, independent building blocks. And really, that's the whole idea. Reusable components are your building blocks, and props are the instructions that bring them to life. With just these two concepts, you've basically got the foundation for building almost any user interface you can possibly imagine. So the only question left is, what will you build first?